Hello everyone, a very good morning to one and all. My name is Jairaj Nadar, representing Inogic in the capacity of Business Development Manager. In today's session, we will talk about User Adoption Monitor tool, a cut short dynamic 365 CRM user adoption monitor journey with a new age monitoring app. So for your information, all lines will be muted. In case if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the question window. I would be happy to answer all of your queries while having Q&A session. Before I begin the session, I would like to give you a short brief about Inogic. Inogic is leading service provider and an independent ISV. We are also an exclusive Dynamic 365 CRM boutique shop that has been in the business for more than decades now. We also been active in the CRM community in which our blogs are very popular. As you can see on the screen, these are all the various productivity add-ons which Inogic has to offer. Among all, I would like to talk about some of the key flagship product of Inogic, which is Maplytics. It's a market-leading CFMD certified product which provides capabilities like visualizing data on map, route optimization, territory management, smart appointment planner, and much more. And next, I would like to talk about Click to Clone. Click to Clone is a one-click productivity tool where you can clone all of your records in just a single click. And also it has the flexibility to choose which relationship and attributes that wants to be cloned. And the next tool I would like to talk about is SharePoint Security Sync. It is a comprehensive solution for integrating Dynamic 365 CRM with SharePoint along with the document manager. So apart from this product development, Inogic is also an SI. We do provide an offshore development services by assisting our partners and the customers. So if you need any more information related to any of our productivity add-ons or a service related, you can do reach out to us at crm@inogic.com. So this is the agenda for the today's session, where we will be seeing the benefits of using a dynamic 365 CRM and what are the challenges faced by the respective managers or the administrator in monitoring the dynamic, how well the users are adopting the CRM, and how our user adoption monitor tool that can be also called as a user performance tracking tool can overcome those challenges, followed by live demonstration, and then at the end we will be having a Q&A session. So let's begin the session with the benefits of user adoption model. So as you see the stats over on the screen, like 65% of sales representatives are spent doing other things apart from the selling. Like as the sales representative, main objective job is to do the selling. So as they do many other tasks, like which is the manual other tasks, the manual things that they do apart from the selling, or the manual task that has been assigned from that respective team. So that is the 65% of the stats is that. Whereas the 37% of the sales rep actually don't use of their CRM, or they don't actually well adapt to their CRM system so that they can use it efficiently. So by using it like CRM on a well adoption, or like to say well adopted manner, in a well frequently how well you have been adapted, the stat says that 87% that using a CRM in a very much well improved and efficiently that can increase the sales. So this definitely adds a value to your business in the terms of increased productivity, increased ROI, and increased efficiency. So that's how well adoption of the CRM can really bring up these definitely a good outcomes of improved sales. So these are all the key challenges that has been faced by the respective managers or the CRM administrator on a daily task. So the challenges that has been listed over here, some of the common challenges that we have been taken, like the user cannot, or the respective managers cannot able to track what actions that the users are performing, or what are the web activities that he has been performing onto the CRM. He cannot able to track on it, and he cannot able to validate the completeness of the record, like whether the necessary information that has been captured or not into the system. So that validation has been not been tracked, or it cannot able to get identified. And also they cannot able to track the target that has been assigned to the respective users. So let's say the sales, different salesperson has been assigned with the different targets, so they cannot able to track those, and they cannot able to bring up with an aggregate values, like what actual value that the sales representatives have been bringing up, or what they have been standing, what they have been performing. They cannot able to track those. So these are all the some of the common challenges that has been faced by the users, respective managers as well as the administrator. So over, this is where our product user adoption monitor tool, or a user performance tracking tool, comes into the picture, which really enables the managers or an administrator to track and manage all of the actions performed by the users in the Dynamic 365 CRM. So these are all the key features that you see, like for the user adoption monitor. So I would like to quickly go around with one of the all of the key features over here, like track actions. So as I was explaining about, you can able to easily track what the user has been doing on to the CRM, like either he's been doing updating any records, or creating any leads, or creating any opportunity. All of the tracking actions that has been performed can be tracked using with the help of user adoption monitor tool. And you can set the frequency, like whether time interval that you want to track it on a daily basis, weekly basis, or a monthly basis, completely depends upon your choice. And all of this data, that the tracking details can be viewed or reported in a such a way to your management, or it can be viewed in a charts as per your business requirement. Like if you want to use it out of the box chart or Power BI reports, yes, even that has been possible with the help of our user adoption monitor tool. And it won't impact any performance. So since the statistics are collected in the background, it won't impact the user experience. And all of this data, that if you want to track it individual performance, and you want to break it up and want to see it in a dashboard, so that can also be possible over here. And the aggregate targeting and the target tracking. So this can also be, as I was explaining, like you can easily able to identify what actual revenue that they have been generated by the respective salesperson, and what was the target assigned to them, how they have been performing. You can gamify it accordingly. And the data completeness is where you validate the completeness of data. You can just able to know, like whether the necessary information has been captured or not, is the data has been really valid, that it can be proceeded to the next stage or not. So that comes the data completeness features. And the login and logout is where how long the user has spent the time in the CR, whether the user has really like spending a time into the CRM. If you want to track it, at what time he has been logged in and what time he has been logged out of the CRM. So yes, with the help of our tool, you can able to easily achieve that. And also the check-in and checkout feature is where, let's say if you want to track how long the user has spent in a particular record. So this could be a really a good fit for the service industry, where they can able to easily identify how long the user has spent in resolving a particular case. So if the case has been assigned to them, so that could be really helpful for them to identify. So that can be good for them to analyze the performance of the users as well. So this all are the key features of user adoption monitor. So let's see all of the key features in the live action. So I have configured user adoption monitor for my for the webinar purpose, uh, and I have configured with the different use cases that has been commonly, those use cases are most common use cases that we have been getting it from most of our prospects or from the customers. So let me switch to CRM window. So yeah, so as I hope you all may be aware that how the sales process the standard sales process works in every organization. Like let's say for an example, like whenever any new prospects looks up shows for any interest in any of the product, the salesperson job or responsibility is to get in touch with this prospect and nurture those lead and get the necessary captured information into the system. So over here, we will take the similar business use cases as currently this organization is having the sales rep. Yeah, they have been having the sales representative having different business process flow, like as every organization having their own business process flow. So over here also, this organization has their business process flow having a condition that until and unless the necessary lead information has been not captured into the system, the lead cannot be moved or qualified to the next stage. So let's say and this organization has certain condition like the business phone number and the email address is mandatory in order to get the lead qualified to move to the next stage. So this is where our product user adoption monitor tool with the new feature that I could say the latest new implemented feature that I could say is a data completeness features comes into the picture, where the user can able to easily validate whether the record has been marked as a complete or an incomplete. So what exactly this data completeness does is, so if you see on the screen, uh, let's say I'm a salesperson, I'm working on this lead, and you see there is a field called as an incomplete over here. So over here, I've added this field, the data completeness field in the form. So you can also add as per your business use cases from the customization part, whether you want to add this field or not. So what exactly this data completeness will do is it will create the custom field in the background that complete or an incompleteness. And based on the criteria that it fills, it will mark the record as incomplete or an incomplete over here. So if you see this organization certain condition, right? Like until a business phone number and the email ID needs to be captured, then only this record will be marked as incomplete and it can be qualified to the next stage. So that is the reason you see the record has been marked as an incomplete over here. So if I enter the business phone number and I will save this. So as I said, the data completeness, what the data completeness feature will does, it will run in the background, it will create a field, and based on the criteria and the condition, it will mark this record as incomplete or an incomplete. So if I refresh it, the record, since I have added the business phone number and the email address, so, so there you go. The record has been now marked as in complete over here. Okay. So this is based on the business process flow, that the condition that has been set by this organization, like until and unless these two information has been necessarily to be captured in the lead information so that it can be moved to the next stage. So now, in order to do this, what it requires, like you just need to do a simple thing. You just need to go into the user adoption monitor app, and just you need to create an entity configuration for the lead data completeness. So in the entity configuration, it's not only track the common special messages like account create, or lead delete or update. It also track the common special messages as well, like opportunity win, lead qualified. So that kind of and special messages can also be tracked over here in the user adoption monitor too. So for that, the step is just to create an entity configuration. So that the only thing that has been done by over here is that I've done the data completeness message for the lead entity, and I've set enable the attributes of a business phone number and the email address. So this is completely depending upon your choice, the business requirement, like uh, what criteria that you want to set it in order to validate the record to be marked as incomplete or an incomplete. So that based on your use cases, you can create an entity configuration and so that you can validate your record accordingly. So this is based on the real-time data that you have been doing it for a validation of records. So you may be also thinking, what about my history of records if I want to validate that? So yes, we do have a provision for that. Like we can also able to create an on-demand workflow, and you just need to create a workflow and hit on that workflow that you have created, and so that all of your history of records can also be validated based on that the necessary information has been filled or not, and it will mark those records as a complete or an incomplete. So now coming to back to the use cases, like this organization has been using this business process flow, and they have been done qualifying the leads so that the lead can be qualified to the opportunity. So now the lead has been done with the necessary information. So the sales representative can able to work on this lead, and now the lead has been qualified to the next stage, that is to the opportunity. And now the sales manager in this organization, he wants to track like how many opportunity that has been won by his sales representative, and what all the actual revenue that he has generated, so that he wants to able to track those on a monthly basis, like how many opportunity that he has won on the current month or a last. So that can also be tracked over here. For that also you need to similarly create an entity configuration for the opportunity win, and this is the entity schema name, and this message that you set it is an win over here, and the period is where the frequency, like whether you want to track that on a monthly basis, daily basis, or on a weekly basis. So over here, as a manager, I want to track on a monthly basis, like how many opportunity that has been won by, let's say for example, Sam. How many opportunity has been won by Sam for the current month? So I want to track it. So easily what I can do is I have created the entity configuration on the go. I've set this period as a monthly, and this is where the target configuration that you have set. Like you can also set the target that has been assigned to the user, and based on the target assigned, how the users have been performing or what actual revenue that they have been generating, that can also be tracked over here. So over here I have set the target for the respective salesperson, and this is the tracking happens over here. So the tracking that you see over here, this is a Sam who has won the opportunity, and that you see the month wise. You see this is the 1st May 2022 till 31st. So for the month wise, I have set, so based on this month wise, it will track how many opportunity that has been won by Sam. So over here, if you see the count that you see is over here is 1. So that means only one opportunity that has been won by Sam for the month of May. Now let's say down the 2 days, if the Sam has won another 2 opportunity. So what exactly it will do is over here, the single this entity will be tracking of will be remain created over here, and the total over here it will get updated to 3. So that means the 3 opportunity that has been won by Sam for the month of May. So now the tracking that I have been tracked over here, yes, I came to know how many opportunity that has been won by Sam, but I need to know the actual revenue what he has generated out of those opportunity that he has won. So for that we have an aggregate tracking that I was able to say that based on the target assigned, how many revenue that has been generated by those respective salesperson individually, I can able to see over here. So out of the 20,000 target that has been assigned for the month of May, Sam has won one opportunity over here that the cost is like around 5,000 US dollars. So that the actual revenue that I can able to track it over here similarly. And also for the respective other salesperson like Joy Smith for the month of March, what she has done, like how many, what was the target, what was achieved. So all of this tracking that I can able to easily track it with the help of like creating an entity configuration over here, and with the help of our aggregate tracking, I can able to get the actual revenue that they have been generated. So this way he can able to identify, he can able to gamify as well, like what target that can be set, or what the performance of the salesperson, how they have been, they can do a further analysis on that, they can do a comparison, they can gamify and do many more things that how this can be included over here. So this, all of this data can also be visually represented in a dashboard as well over here that you see the target tracking details. So we have a dashboard where you can able to view it, like daily tracking, how many that has been actual revenue based on the target that they have been generated, or a month wise, how many the aggregate target tracking that you have been doing, how the sales has been doing based on the target assigned. So this will really help the respective manager, sales managers, to able to easily identify or track how the uh, sales performance has been doing in the organization. So this is from the like the managers who has been want to really track how this managers has been doing, how the sales representative have been doing, how many revenue generated, how many opportunity they have got. So that also the similar use cases is that they need to create a entity configuration. Now from the top management perspective, now the top management want to know how well all of the users in the CRM, how well all of the users in the CRM are adopting the system, the CRM. He wants to track it. Uh, so the first thing that they need to do is that just they need to enable the audit tracking in the system, and the next step is they need to create a system user login in the entity configuration. So they need to create an entity configuration called as a system user login. So by creating a system user login over here, they just need to define the entity schema name and the message as a login. And this is a polling interval. Like every 4 hour I have set over here. That means like based on the preferred start time, what you set it over here. So after every 4 hours, it will get the tracking of those details and the tracking will be updated over here. So as I was talking about the CRM access tracking, that they want to be tracked by the top management, like how well all of the users in the organization are adapting to the CRM. So this means the count that you are getting over is not the daily actual login and logout of the time of the users. Rather, it is the actual count, how long the users or what all the activities, web activities that the user has performed in the CRM. So that count has been seen over here. You can, if you want to know the further drill down details about this, what all the activities the user has been performed, or on which record that they have been worked on, the date and time, that can also be, you can see it over here. So on 11th May, on this record, I've been on this time, the SAM was working, and actually on what all the different activities that he has been performing, updating records, or creating any new records, or how frequently they has been using or adopting the system, that can be all tracked, and that count only you can able to get it updated over here. So I would like to put it again, it's not the actual number of time the user get in or get out of the CRM. It's instead rather it shows the completeness of how well the users have been adopting or using the CRM in terms of different activities that they are doing into the system. So by this way, the user can, the top management can able to easily get an uh, clear tracking about what all the details that how well the users have been performing and which are all the records they have been working on to it. And all this tracking can also be seen in the dashboard that is called as a user access summary. So where you can able to see CRM access by user this way. If you set it on this way, and who has accessed the CRM today, it will list out all of the users over here. Since I have been using it for my demo webinar purpose, it has been showing us one user over here, and user who has accessed the CRM today. So all of this can be seen in the dashboard in a complete view, so that it can be much more representable to the higher top management, so that they can able to take the necessary actions accordingly. So this is how the top management can able to track and manage what all the actions that has been performed by the users into the CRM. And now let's say the the respective salesperson or the organization don't want to track the action performed by the CEO of this organization. So let's say the CEO has been working in this organization and they don't want to track what all the actions they are performing, like account update or what all the actions, any activities that has been they have been performing, they didn't want to track it. So yes, that is also possible over here. So in order to do that, you just need to navigate to the settings and the security and select the users over that, and over here that you need to see so over here you see an user adoption monitor enabled. So if you set it as a no over here, so no tracking of the any of the activities that has been performed by the respective users won't be done. So no tracking will be performed for that respective users. So over here, in this case, Sam, if I set it as a no, any activities that has been performed by Sam cannot be tracked. It won't be get it represented into the CRM with the help of our tool. But let's say if you want to track any specific action, let's say I want to track only for the account create, but not the lead create, but opportunity won, but not the lead qualified. So that can be also be done over here. There come some of the common messages that if you don't want to track, that you can disable it over here as well for the respective users. So by this way, we can able to easily uh, disable the tracking of any of the users that you don't want to track, or all the actions that can be performed by the respective users. So all this can be consolidated. All of the actions that can be seen, you can be viewed in a summary dashboard. So this dashboard, all you see over here, is completely a customizable one. You can create your own custom dashboard as per your business use case as well. So there you see like usage by this month, what are all the create, update, and daily phone calls that has been associated, weekly activities that has been performed by the users, and the monthly touch report, the new record that has been created for this month, active tracking. So all this, the charts that you are seeing over here is completely customizable one. So you can able to create your own dashboard as per your business use case as well. And all of the tracking details that you can see over here, that can be viewed in, as I said, which can be represented in reports of Power BI reports, SSRS, and out of the box chart as well. So this how summarize how the user adoption monitor tool or user performance tracking tool can really enables, or how well the user has been adopting the system can be tracked easily by their respective managers or a CRM administrator in order to take the necessary appropriate actions accordingly. So now you will shortly receive a poll on the features that you like the most in this user performance tracking tool. Thank you for casting your vote. I will switch back to the presentation. So user adoption monitor tool, that is the performance tracking tool. The supported version is Microsoft Dynamics CRM version 8.2 and above, which, and as well as in the Dataverse and the Power Apps, which can be deployed on online and on-premise. To get started with an user adoption monitor tool is really simple. You can download this solution from Microsoft App Source as well as from our website www.inogic.com. And if you need any assistance while setting up a trial, you can do reach out to us at crm@inogic.com. We'd be happy to assist you. So now let's have a Q&A session. Uh, Feel free to put your questions in the question window. I would be happy to answer you. feel free to put your questions. So we have a question from one of our attendees. Do the user needs to click a button to track a login, or can we track it in the background? So yeah, as I was explaining about the CRM access tracking feature, so in that case, you just don't need to hit on any of the buttons in order to track uh, any of tracking of records. We just need to enable the auditing in the system, and which are all the web activities that has been performed by the user that can be tracked and it will be shown. But if you want to specifically wants to know like how long the user has spent in a day in a CRM, like what time they have been logged in or logged out. In that case, you can visit our application login and log out. That entity configuration that you need to do it in the entity configuration the user option monitor app, and that can be tracked it accordingly. So we have a question from one of our attendee. We will have 600 plus users that will be monitoring. Can you explain how collecting data in the background will not impact the front-end application or user experience? I would repeat the question again. We are concerned about performance. We will have 600 plus users that will be monitoring. Can you explain how collecting data in the background will not impact the front-end or application users experience? So this performance tracking tool, the tracking since runs in the background, it really won't impact the user system because many of our the systems have been running in the background. So as we have all of the customers that has been like 2,000, 3,000 users are also been using our application on this tool. So it won't impact any front end or back end of the any of the user experience as well. So we have all set of good customers who have been having a large number of users like 1,000 plus, 2,000 plus across users. So they have also been missing. So it will not impact, I could say, by with the help of our user performance track. Any more questions? I would be happy to answer. So we have other questions like, does it support the custom entities? Yes, it supports both custom as well as out of the box entities. So you can use it for your custom entities as well. Any more questions? So if no more questions, then we can end up with the Q&A session. So if you have any questions or a feedback, you can feel free to put all of your questions in the CRM, reach out to CRM at the rate. I know Jita will be happy to answer in that as well. So I would really appreciate your time for taking and attending this webinar. Have a great day. Thank you so much for attending. Take care. Bye-bye.